The great meeting hall of the Galactic Council stretched high above like a crystal cave. 12 ancient races sat around a circle of floating platforms, each one glowing with their own special light. Above them all, stars twinkled through the clear ceiling, reminding everyone that they ruled over millions of worlds. Ambassador Sarah Chen sat with her small team of humans at a lower platform. They had been waiting for 3 hours. The council was deciding if humans could become full members after 50 years of being just helpers. Chairman Vextar of the Hegemony spoke first. His voice was deep and cold like winter wind. We have read the human request. We have studied their records. They have been useful. Yes. But useful is not the same as worthy. The other council members nodded. Their translator boxes turned their alien words into sounds that Sarah could understand. Counselor Gelnus of the Zephyrians moved her forearms in a gesture of dismissal. Humans are young. They have only been in space for 200 years. We have been traveling between stars for thousands of years. They do not understand the deep ways of the galaxy. The crystal being called Archive Prime flickered its lights. Our records show that humans solve problems quickly, but they do not think ahead enough. They act on feelings too much. This galaxy needs steady wisdom, not quick actions. Sarah watched each council member speak against humanity. The Moltex said humans were too weak for real leadership. The Ethereals claimed humans could not understand the spiritual side of governing. The Trade Federation representatives said human economics were too simple for galactic business. One by one, they all said no. Sarah's team leader, Commander Park, leaned forward. His face was red with anger. Ambassador, we should tell them about the Rim Wars. About how we saved their trade routes. About the plague cures we developed. Sarah held up her hand. No, she said quietly. We will not beg. Chairman Vex's Tar looked down at the humans. The vote is complete. Humans will remain as helper members only. You may continue to assist with small projects, but you will not have voting rights. You will not lead any galactic programs. You will not make decisions for other species. He paused, as if waiting for the humans to argue or cry or make angry speeches. Sarah stood up slowly. She was calm, like a lake with no wind. Thank you for your time, she said. We understand your decision. The council members looked surprised. They had expected shouting or threats or demands to vote again. Commander Park stared at Sarah. Ambassador, we should respect the council's choice, Sarah said. She gathered her papers and put them in her bag. Come. We have work to do. The human team stood up together. They bowed politely to the council and walked toward the exit. Their footsteps were soft on the crystal floor. Sarah stopped at the door and looked back. Chairman Vextar, we will need time to finish our current projects properly. We will not leave anyone in danger. Vextar waved a hand. Take whatever time you need. We are patient. Sarah nodded and walked out. But she left something behind on her platform. A small data pad. Forgotten in the papers. Outside the Great Hall, Commander Park grabbed Sarah's arm. What are you doing? We can appeal this decision. We can show them the defense records, the scientific discoveries, the what? Sarah asked. The fact that we saved their worlds? Fixed their problems? Kept their peace? She shook her head. They know all of that, James. They just don't think it matters. Dr. Lisa Martinez joined them in the hallway. So what now? Do we just give up? Number 1. Sarah looked out a window at the space station around them. Ships from 100 different worlds moved in careful patterns. Like a dance. Human controllers in the traffic center made sure nobody crashed. Human engineers kept the life support running. Human doctors treated patients from 12 different species in the medical bay. No, Sarah said. We don't give up. We just stop trying to prove we belong where we're not wanted. She pulled out her communicator. This is Ambassador Chen to all human personnel. Begin Phase Delta. Repeat. Begin Phase Delta. All department heads report to me for immediate transfer briefings. Phase Delta was not an angry plan. It was not a punishment or a threat. It was simply the plan to bring all humans home. Commander Park looked confused. All humans? From every station? Every project? Every single one, Sarah said. If they don't want us as partners, then we won't pretend to be partners anymore. Dr. Martinez understood first. We're leaving. All of us. We're going home, Sarah corrected. There's a difference. Back in the council chamber, Chairman Vex Tar was already meeting with his advisors. The humans took that better than expected, he said. I thought they would argue more. Perhaps they are finally learning their place, said Councillor Gelnas. This will be good for them. A few years of isolation might teach them respect for their betters. Archive Prime flickered. The decision was logical. Humans are too unpredictable for true leadership roles. But deep in the station, things were already changing. Human engineers were quietly backing up their work and preparing to hand it over to other species. Human researchers were writing detailed notes about their ongoing projects. Human peacekeepers were calling in their replacements. They were not angry. They were not sad. They were just done. In her quarters, Sarah looked at the stars through her window. Somewhere out there was Earth, and the colonies, and the space stations that humans had built with their own hands and minds. Time to go home, she said to herself. The galaxy was about to learn what it meant when humans walked away softly. The first ship left at 6 in the morning, station time. It was a small research vessel called the Times Discovery *, carrying Dr. Elena Vasquez and her team away from the Deep Space Laboratory. They had been studying black holes there for 15 years. Dr. Vasquez handed her keycard to Professor Kellan, a tall ethereal with glowing blue skin. All the current data is on the main computers, she said. The safety protocols are in the red folder. The emergency shutdown sequence is written on the wall chart. Professor Kellan took the card with his long fingers. You are really leaving? Just like that? Just like that, Dr. Vasquez said. She picked up her bag and walked to the airlock. Good luck with the research. Professor Kellan watched her go. He had never operated the black hole scanner by himself. Dr. Vasquez made it look easy, but the ethereal had always helped with the thinking parts, not the hands-on work. On Station Beta 9, Captain Maria Torres was shutting down the Rim Patrol Command Center. For 20 years, human ships had protected the trade routes in the dangerous outer areas of the galaxy. Pirates and raiders stayed away because they knew the human patrol ships were fast and smart. Sir, you cannot just leave, said Commander Xartok of the Hegemony Navy. The patrol schedule for next month is already planned. We have supply convoys coming through the Kepler Gap next week. Captain Torres handed him a data chip. All the patrol patterns are on there. Ship positions, timing routes, supply points, everything you need. But we do not know how to run these operations, Xartok said. His gray skin was turning darker with worry. Human tactics are different from ours. Then you'll learn new tactics, Captain Torres said. Or make your own. She looked around the command center one last time. Charts covered the walls, showing safe paths through dangerous space. Red dots marked where pirates had attacked in the past. Green lines showed the patrol routes that had kept everyone safe. The Times, Vigilant Times, and her sister ships will jump to human space in 2 hours, Torres said. The outer rim is yours now. As I will see. Torres. On Nexus Prime itself, the main station was feeling the change. Human engineers were leaving the power plant. Human doctors were closing their clinics. Human teachers were ending their classes early. Dr. James Webb was packing his medical supplies when healer Silmar found him. The plant-like alien's leaves were shaking with worry. Dr. Webb, you cannot leave now, Silmar said. I have 16 patients who need the neural surgery only you can do. The technique for treating Zephyrian brain tumors, you are the only one who knows it. Dr. Webb sealed another box of medical tools. I wrote down everything in the medical database. The surgical procedures, the drug combinations, the aftercare protocols. It's all there. But I have never done this surgery myself, Silmar said. What if I make a mistake? Then you'll have to learn fast, Dr. Webb said. Or find someone else to teach you. Silmar's leaves rustled with fear. There is no one else. You humans were the only ones who could figure out how to operate on different species safely. Dr. Webb stopped packing. He looked at Silmar for a long moment. That's not my problem anymore, he said finally. The council made it clear that humans are not needed for important decisions. Medical treatment seems pretty important to me. All across the galaxy, the same scene was happening. Humans were packing up, signing transfer papers, and saying goodbye. They were not angry. They were not rushing. They were just leaving. On the trade station at Vega 7, human translators were finishing their last day of work. The station hosted traders from 50 different species. Each species had different customs, different ways of speaking, different ideas about what was polite or rude. Translator Amy Park was handing over her files to a replacement. The replacement was a computer system made by the archivists. The Moltec traders get angry if you look directly at them, Amy explained to the station manager. The Ethereals consider it rude to interrupt, even if they're talking for an hour. The Zephyrians think questions about family are insults. The station manager, a hegemony official named Dorvan, looked at the thick files. Surely the computer can handle these details. Maybe, Amy said. Good luck. She walked away, leaving Dorvan staring at a computer screen full of cultural rules and warnings. There were thousands of them. In the council chambers, Chairman Vextar was reading reports from across the galaxy. Human ship movements, transfer requests, shutdown notices. At first, he was not worried. Let them go, he told his advisor. They will be back when they realize they need galactic civilization more than it needs them. But the reports kept coming. Humans were leaving everywhere. The asteroid mining operations, the terraforming projects, the communication relay stations, the emergency response teams. Sir, his advisor said carefully, perhaps we should ask some of them to stay. Just the essential personnel? Vextar laughed. Essential? They were helpers, nothing more. We ran the galaxy for thousands of years before humans existed. We can run it after they have their little tantrum and come back to work. On the far edge of the galaxy, the research station at Wolf Star was having problems. The artificial gravity was acting strange, making people feel sick. The life support system was making odd noises. The power grid kept having small failures. The station chief, an archivist named Crystal Song, called the human engineer who had maintained all these systems. Engineer Rodriguez, Crystal Song said through the communicator, we need you to return immediately. The station is experiencing multiple system failures. Rodriguez's voice came back tired and flat. Sorry, Crystal Song. I'm 3 days away now. My replacement should have the maintenance manuals. The replacement does not understand your work, Crystal Song said. The manuals are too complex. We need your intuitive knowledge of these systems. There was a long pause. My intuitive knowledge isn't worth full council membership, remember? Figure it out yourselves. The communication ended. Crystal Song looked at the walls around her. The station was making settling noises it had never made before. Without the human engineer's constant small adjustments and fixes, things were starting to break down. For the first time, Crystal Song wondered if the council had made a mistake, but it was too late now. The humans were going home, and they had made it very clear that they would not be coming back. The attack came on the 4th day after the humans left. Merchant Captain Zoltar was leading a convoy of 20 cargo ships through the Outer Rim. The ships carried medicine, food, and supplies to the colony worlds on the edge of known space. It should have been a safe trip. The Rim Patrol always protected the trade routes, but the patrol ships were gone now. The pirates came out of the asteroid field like angry hornets. 12 fast attack ships with stolen weapons and no mercy. They hit the convoy before Captain Zoltar could even send a distress call. Where are the patrol ships? Zoltar screamed into his radio. This is Convoy 77 Alpha requesting immediate assistance. The answer came from far away. Convoy 77 Alpha, this is Hegemony Battle Group 3. We are responding to your distress call. Estimated arrival time is 4 hours. 4 hours? Zoltar stared at his screens. The pirates were tearing apart his escort ships. The patrol base is only 20 minutes away. The patrol base is empty, came the reply. All human vessels have withdrawn to their home territory. By the time the Hegemony battle group arrived, 6 cargo ships were destroyed, and 8 more were damaged. The pirates were long gone, disappeared into the maze of asteroids where the big Hegemony ships could not follow. Commander Zartok looked at the wreckage floating in space. How did they escape so easily? He asked his tactical officer. The humans had patrol patterns that covered all the asteroid hiding spots, the officer explained. Their ships were small and fast. They could chase pirates anywhere. Zartok nodded slowly. The Hegemony used big, powerful warships. Good for major battles, but useless for chasing pirates through asteroid fields. Send a message to Fleet Command, he said. We need to redesign our patrol strategy. On Research Station Gamma 7, Dr. Kellen was having problems with the black hole scanner. The machine was supposed to measure gravity waves and energy patterns. It had been working perfectly for 15 years. Now it was not working at all. The fusion reactor is overheating, reported Engineer Vorak, a Moltec with thick gray skin. The cooling system is not responding correctly. Dr. Kellen looked at the control panels. There were hundreds of switches, dials, and warning lights. Dr. Vasquez had operated them like a piano player, her fingers dancing over the controls without even thinking. Check the manual, Kellen said. Vorak held up a thick book. I have been checking. The manual says to adjust the coolant flow rate to match the reactor output. But it does not say how to know what the right flow rate is. There must be a formula, Kellen said. There is. But Dr. Vasquez always said the formula was just a starting point. She said you had to feel when the reactor was happy. Kellen stared at the machine. Ethereals were logical beings. They understood math and science and clear rules. But how do you feel when a machine is happy? The reactor temperature kept climbing. Warning alarms started going off. Finally, Kellen had to shut down the entire station. Send a message to Dr. Vasquez, he told Vorak. Ask her to come back and fix this. The reply came 6 hours later. Dr. Vasquez is busy with other projects. Good luck with your research. On the terraforming world of Kepler's Rest, things were going very badly. The atmosphere processors had been turning the poisonous air into something breathable for 10 years. It was a delicate process that needed constant adjustment. The processors were failing. The oxygen levels are dropping, reported scientist Flirta, a crystalline archivist. The carbon dioxide filters are clogged. The nitrogen balance is all wrong. Project leader Morgan studied the readouts. What did the human engineers do when this happened before? According to the logs, they cleaned the filters every 3 days and adjusted the gas mixers twice per day, Flirta said. But the atmospheric readings were different each time. They did not follow a standard pattern. Morgan looked confused. How did they decide what adjustments to make? The logs just say, made necessary adjustments. There are no formulas or rules written down. The two aliens stared at the complex machinery. It had seemed so simple when humans were running it. The atmospheric processors just worked, day after day, making the air cleaner and more breathable. Now they could see how complicated it really was. Hundreds of variables that all had to be balanced perfectly. The humans had made it look easy because they understood how all the pieces worked together. Without that understanding, the machines were just expensive junk. Back on Nexus Prime, Chairman Vextar was reading reports in his office. The reports were not good. The Rim Patrol lost another convoy yesterday, his advisor reported. That is 4 attacks in 1 week. Trade companies are starting to cancel shipments to the outer colonies. Deploy more ships, Vextar said without looking up. We have deployed more ships. But our vessels are not designed for patrol work. They are too big and slow to catch pirates. Vextar finally looked up. Then, redesign them. His advisor shifted uncomfortably. Sir, our shipyards do not know how to build ships like the humans built. The human designs were unusual. They combined speed, firepower, and efficiency in ways our engineers do not understand. Then hire human engineers to teach us. The humans are not accepting our job offers, sir. They are all returning to human space. Vextar set down his reports. For the first time, he looked worried. All of them? Yes, sir. Every human in the galaxy seems to be going home. They are not angry or making demands. They are just leaving. In the medical center, healer Silmar was looking at 16 patients who needed brain surgery. Without Dr. Webb, Silmar had tried to perform the operations alone. 3 patients had died. The others were getting worse. Is there no one else who can do this surgery? Asked Chief Healer Mortis. Silmar's leaves drooped with sadness. Dr. Webb trained 2 other human doctors in this technique, but they left with him. The surgery requires understanding of 12 different alien brain types. Humans were the only ones who studied comparative neurology deeply enough. What about the surgical manuals, Doctor? Webb left behind? They are detailed but incomplete. The manuals tell you what to do, but not when to do it differently. Dr. Webb would look at each patient and adjust his technique based on their specific biology. He said every brain was slightly different. Chief Healer Mortis looked at the dying patients. Send an emergency message to Dr. Webb. Offer him anything he wants to come back. The reply came the next day. Dr. Webb is establishing a new medical center in human space. He suggests you find a different solution to your surgical needs. All across the galaxy, the same pattern was repeating. Systems that had worked perfectly with human oversight were breaking down. Problems that humans had solved quietly for decades were coming back, and the humans were not coming back to fix them. Chairman Vextar sat in his office, staring at a pile of emergency reports. For the first time in his long life, he wondered if the council had made a terrible mistake. The datapad had been sitting on the council chamber floor for 6 days. A cleaning robot finally picked it up and brought it to the lost items office. Just put it with the other forgotten things, said Clerk Jolwen, a tired ethereal who managed the station's lost property. But something made him curious. The datapad was still powered on. The screen showed a simple title: Human Contributions to Galactic Society. Complete Analysis. Jolwen almost deleted it. Then he thought about all the problems happening around the station since the humans left. He decided to read it instead. The first page made his glowing skin turn pale blue with shock. Interspecies Dispute Resolution. Humans have mediated 847 conflicts between council species in the last 50 years. Success rate: 96.8%. Without human mediation, these disputes would have required military intervention or resulted in trade wars. Jolwen kept reading. His hands started shaking. Early warning systems. Human-operated sensor networks have detected and prevented 127 asteroid impacts, 43 solar flare events dangerous to life support systems, and 12 potential nova explosions. Current automated systems detect only 23% of these threats. The list went on, page after page of things that humans did quietly, without asking for praise or recognition. Medical cross-species training. Human doctors have trained 3,847 alien physicians in techniques for treating patients from other species. Before human medical exchange programs, interspecies medicine had a 67% fatality rate. Current rate with human techniques, 12%. Jolwen's hands were definitely shaking now. He called his supervisor. Sir, I think Chairman Vextar needs to see this immediately. An hour later, Chairman Vextar was reading the datapad in his office. His advisor stood nearby, watching the chairman's gray skin turn darker and darker with each page. Is this accurate? Vextar asked finally. We are checking the claims now, sir. But our preliminary review suggests the information is correct. Vextar read another page out loud. Cultural Translation Services. Human linguists and cultural specialists facilitate 89% of all interspecies trade negotiations. Without human translators, the average trade agreement takes 340% longer to complete and has a 78% higher failure rate. His advisor nodded sadly. The Trade Federation reported yesterday that 3 major deals fell apart because of cultural misunderstandings. Deals worth billions of credits. Why did we not know about this before? Vextar demanded. Because humans never asked for credit, sir. They just did the work. We thought these things happened automatically. Vextar kept reading. Adaptive engineering. Human engineers have retrofitted 12,456 space stations and ships to accommodate the different biological needs of Council species. These modifications allow multi-species cooperation in environments that would otherwise be impossible to share. He looked up. The environmental controls in this very station. Yes, sir. Human designed. The air mixture. The gravity variations. The temperature zones that let all species work together comfortably. Our own buildings depend on human engineering. On the communication screen, emergency reports were piling up from across the galaxy. The terraforming project on Kepler's Rest had completely failed. The atmosphere was turning toxic again. 2 research stations had shut down due to equipment failures. Pirate attacks in the Outer Rim were happening every day. But the worst news was coming from the Council's own home system. Sir, his advisor said nervously, we have a problem with the Nexus defense grid. Quote, the defense grid was the massive computer system that protected Nexus Prime from attack. It controlled thousands of weapons, shields, and sensor arrays. It was supposed to be completely automatic. What kind of problem? Vextar asked. The system is not responding correctly to threats. A group of terrorists tried to attack the station yesterday. The defense grid should have stopped them instantly. Instead, it took 47 minutes to identify them as hostile. Oh, why? The system was designed by archivists using pure logic patterns. But humans modified it over the years to handle unexpected situations. The terrorists used a new type of ship that the original programming did not recognize. The human modifications would have caught it immediately. Vextar felt cold inside. Where are those modifications documented? They are not, sir. The humans made small adjustments constantly, learning and adapting the system as new threats appeared. There are no written records of most changes. The defense grid had been getting smarter for 50 years, learning from every attack and threat. But all that learning had been done by human minds working with the computer systems. Now, those minds were gone. Can we ask the humans to return temporarily and fix these problems? His advisor handed him another data pad. We tried, sir. Here are the responses. Vextar read through dozens of polite rejections. Every human they contacted said the same thing. They were busy with new projects in human space. They wished the Council good luck solving their problems. Dr. Sarah Chen had sent a personal message. The Council made it clear that human contributions are adequate, but unremarkable. We have decided to focus our adequate efforts on more appreciative partners. It was not angry, it was not insulting, it was just final. How many humans are left in Council space? Vextar asked. None, sir. The last transport ship departed this morning. Vextar looked around his office. The lights were dimmer than usual. The air recycling system was making strange noises. Even here, in the heart of galactic government, things were starting to break down without human maintenance. Sir, his advisor said quietly, there is more. There is more. More? The economic analysis. Human innovations in interspecies commerce have increased trade efficiency by 340% over the last 50 years. Without those systems, our economic networks are beginning to collapse. How long before complete breakdown? 6 weeks according to our projections, maybe less. Vextar sat in silence for a long time. Around him, the greatest space station in the galaxy was slowly falling apart. Beyond his windows, ships moved in confused patterns without human traffic controllers to guide them efficiently. Get me a direct communication line to Ambassador Chen, he said finally. Sir, she has not been accepting our calls. Keep trying, and send a message to the other council members. Emergency session in 1 hour. When the council gathered, they looked older than Vextar had ever seen them. The crystal being Archive Prime was flickering weakly. Counselor Zhelnis kept all four of her arms crossed defensively. We need to discuss the human situation. Vextar began. They will come back, said Counselor Mortek. When they realize they need us more than we need them. Vextar placed the datapad on the central platform where everyone could see it. Read this. All of it. It took 2 hours. By the end, the council chamber was completely silent. Finally, Archive Prime spoke. The logical conclusion is clear. Humans were not helpers. They were the foundation that everything else was built on. We destroyed 50 years of cooperation in 5 minutes, whispered Counselor Zhelnas. Vextar looked at his fellow council members. The question now is, how do we fix this mistake before our entire civilization falls apart? But none of them had an answer. The small ship appeared at the edge of Nexus Prime space without warning. It was a simple human medical transport called the Times Mercy Asterisk, painted white with red crosses on the sides. Unidentified human vessel, the traffic controller called out. You are entering restricted space. Please state your business. This is Dr. Sarah Kim aboard the medical ship Times Mercy Asterisk, came the reply. We are carrying vaccines for the plague in the outer colonies. Requesting permission to dock. In the council chambers, Chairman Vextar received the message with surprise. For 6 weeks, no human had answered their calls. The galaxy was falling apart piece by piece. Now, suddenly, one small ship wanted to dock. Let them land, he ordered. I want to speak with this doctor personally. Dr. Kim was young, maybe 30 years old, with kind eyes and steady hands. She carried a small case of medical supplies and wore the simple blue uniform of the Human Medical Service. She met Chairman Vextar at the airlock. Around them, the station looked tired. Lights flickered. The air smelled stale. Equipment that had worked perfectly for decades was breaking down without human maintenance. Dr. Kim, Vextar said carefully. Thank you for coming. We have been trying to contact human authorities for weeks. I know, Dr. Kim said, but I am not here on government business. I am here because people are dying. She opened her case and showed him small bottles of medicine. The plague started 3 weeks ago in the Rigel colony. It is spreading to other worlds now. Our research teams developed a vaccine, but it only works if given within 48 hours of infection. Vextar looked at the medicines. How many people can you save? About 10,000, if I work fast. The plague will kill 50,000 if left untreated. And you want nothing in return? Dr. Kim smiled sadly. I want people to live. That is what doctors do. She started to leave, but Vextar called her back. Dr. Kim, please wait. We need to talk. I have patients to treat, Chairman. People are dying while we stand here talking. Yes, Vextar said. They are. And more will die tomorrow, and the day after, unless we fix what we have broken. Dr. Kim stopped walking. She turned around slowly. What have you broken? She asked. Vextar looked around the damaged station. Everything, he said simply. We broke everything when we sent your people away. For the next hour, Dr. Kim treated plague victims in the station's medical bay. Vextar watched her work. She moved between patients from 6 different species, adjusting her treatment for each one. A Moltec needed different medicine than a Zephyrian. An Ethereal required a completely different injection technique. How do you know how to treat so many different species? Vextar asked. We study, Dr. Kim said, preparing another dose of vaccine. Humans have always been curious about other forms of life. We want to understand how different minds work, how different bodies heal, how different cultures see the universe. She injected a young hegemony child with vaccine. The child's mother held his hand and spoke softly in their own language. Your people speak our languages, Vextar observed. All of them. Most of us learn at least 4 or 5, Dr. Kim agreed. Communication is important. How can you help someone if you cannot understand them? When the last patient was treated, Dr. Kim packed her supplies. I need to get to the Rigel colony now. The plague is spreading fast. Dr. Kim, Vextar said, would you consider staying? We could offer you any position you want. Any salary. She shook her head. I cannot stay where my people are not welcome, but they are welcome. Vextar said desperately. We made a mistake. A terrible mistake. Dr. Kim looked at him for a long moment. Chairman, what do you think we want from you? I am not sure. We never wanted special treatment, Dr. Kim said. We never wanted to rule anyone or control anything. We just wanted to belong, to be part of something bigger than ourselves. She walked toward her ship. When you asked us to leave, you told us that our contributions were not important, that we were just helpers. So we went home to help our own people instead. Vextar followed her. Please. The Council wants to make this right. We want humans to come back. Why? Dr. Kim asked. Because your systems are breaking down? Because you need our help? Yes, Vextar admitted. But also because the galaxy is smaller without you. Quieter. Less interesting. Dr. Kim stopped at her ship's airlock. That is the first honest thing you have said. What would it take? Vextar asked. What would it take for humans to come home? This is not our home anymore, Dr. Kim said. You made that clear. But maybe we could be neighbors again. Partners. Equals. Yes, Vextar said quickly. Equals. Full membership. Voting rights. Everything. That is not what I mean, Doctor, Kim said. Membership is just a word on paper. I mean real partnership. Humans solving problems together with other species. Humans teaching and learning. Humans being valued for who we are, not just what we can fix. She started to board her ship, then turned back one more time. If you really want to fix this, Chairman, start by fixing your attitude. We are not going to come running back just because you need us. We have our own dignity now. The ship departed an hour later. Vextar stood at the window, watching it disappear into hyperspace. That evening, he called an emergency council session. All 12 species gathered in the crystal chamber. We are going to vote again, Vextar announced. On what? Asked Archive Prime. On human membership, full membership, and this time, we are going to get it right. The vote was unanimous. 12 species, all voting yes. But Vextar knew that would not be enough. Dr. Kim was right. This was not about membership papers or voting rights. This was about respect and partnership and seeing humans as equals instead of useful servants. He began composing a message to Ambassador Chen. Not a demand for help or an offer of membership. Just an invitation to talk about the future. The message was simple. We understand now. We were wrong. Can we start over? 3 days later, the reply came back. We will send a delegation to discuss terms. But this time, we talk as equals. Vextar smiled for the first time in weeks. It would not be easy to rebuild 50 years of trust and cooperation. But humans were patient people. They believed in second chances, and they never walked away from someone who truly wanted to change. The galaxy was about to learn that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is admit you were wrong and ask for forgiveness. And sometimes, if you are lucky, you get the chance to do better the second time around.